ఏది చేసినా ఈ మాస్ జనం కోసమేనండి. ఇప్పుడు బి సెంటర్, సి సెంటర్ ఆడియన్స్ ఉన్నారు. వాళ్ళకి ఫైట్స్ కావాలి, ఐటమ్ సాంగ్స్ కావాలి. కొత్తగా ఏదైనా సినిమా తీస్తే వాళ్ళు డైజెస్ట్ చేసుకోలేరు.
మాకు సినిమాలు చూడడం రావట్లేదా? మీకు ఏ తీయడం వచ్చని మేము అయ్యే చూస్తాను. మన సి క్లాసు టేస్ట్ లేదు అన్నం కాదు. మీకు దమ్ముంటే కొత్తగా సినిమా తీయండి. అది
The snippet that I just posted is from the 2008 Telugu film Neninthe, directed by Puri Jagannath. While the sad reality is that the current predicament the legendary director finds himself in is that of a has-been, having lost touch, becoming outdated with his ideas, and even more so, a sliver of his former self, there is absolutely no denying the sheer hysteria he caused with stars and made commercial blockbusters with. Idiot, Pokeri, and Temper, to name a few. However, Neninthe holds a special place in the hearts of the Telugu audience. A film that failed at the box office but is still relevant today. There is a cardinal rule in the film business that you shouldn't make a movie about the film industry or the making of a film, because history has proven that the fate of them at the box office is always abysmal, and moreover, the topic itself is considered to be niche for the larger audience to care about. This is the unfortunate fate of exceptional films like Kagas Ke Phool and in the 21st century Khoya Khoya Chand. And the two movies I will be talking about in this video. Neninthe is the movie that many of you wanted me to see for its themes regarding the film industry. The choice of stories that get greenlit, the hero worship of stars, the nature of the relationship between these same stars and fans, and more importantly, the obsession with numbers, which is extremely relevant today. I would actually argue it's the most apt today, for there is a birth of a certain type of fan in the current environment, and this is what Sachin Mehrotra had extrapolated on recently, and this is the industry cinephile. The type of fan that fell in love with the movies initially, but now seem to prefer spending time in tracking the industry, cursed with the illusion of knowledge of what went down in the marketing of the film, how much has been spent in the project, what possibly happened behind the scenes with the final edit, or the egos clashing between the actors. This illusion of knowledge deters them from ever giving a chance to be impacted by the storytelling. You become more fixated by the noise surrounding the movie versus the actual film. The brilliance of Neninthe, if you avoid the commercial tropes of romance and a rowdy antagonist, is that it provides a commentary of several facets of the film industry. What's also crazy is that as I described to you several aspects of the film and its characters, you can clearly draw parallels between the fictional and the real currently working in the industry. Brahmi is presented as an out-of-touch director who mostly delegates work on set, having little to no skill set on the quality of storytelling. This individual is surrounded by talented folk who don't want to speak out of line and massage the ego of the man who refuses to change. This is a director even the producer is fed up of, wanting to shoot in foreign locations, something which feels absolutely unnecessary in context to the film. What happens with success and opulence when you do become isolated from society in your ivory towers, that this is bound to happen. And when you see the roundtable in 2024 held by the Hollywood Reporter India, Rajkumar Rao describes the same delusion. It tells you it's rampant even today.
I've seen people who are, the whole world is saying, it's not a good film, man. But they are still in that bubble that, what a great piece of work.
What is a consistent theme of Neninthe is the motley crew of artists that surround Ravi Teja. Each one is invigorated by passion, willing to go the extra mile for just that one opportunity. It is represented through a canteen structure, where ideas are flung at each other, where one believes that they have that one concept that will rattle the industry. For the years I'm telling you I've spent in Mumbai, I can tell you several establishments within the confines of a 10-kilometer radius where you will see such discussions taking shape. In the city of dreams, artists barely making ends meet but also spending more than 8 hours with that one coffee, just anything to break the misery of their matchbox of an apartment and just momentarily escaping. The most heartbreaking theme of the film, however, is the perspective of die-hard fans portrayed by Sairam Shankar, who is obsessed with the star played by Subbaraju. These fans want the best for their star. They want entertaining and, most importantly, blockbuster films. So they are willing to even advise the producer and the actor himself of what they should do creatively. This takes place also at the cost of their own lives. The priority that comes in their lives sometimes sabotages their own personal lives, and this is an insight I thought was rather exaggerated. But as I saw the 55-minute documentary called Fanatics available on DocuBay, a subscription you can get with Amazon Prime Video, I was shocked at the lengths these fan wars can go to. Murders taking place for the sake of their stars, blood being spilled to celebrate their favorite heroes' posters, and a life being dedicated to protect the image of a man that barely knows your existence. There is a chilling image of an Allu Arjun fan in this documentary that will give you flashbacks to Gaurav from Fan. A room covered with the actor's posters, a body covered with his tattoos, and the toxic parasocial relationship that makes one assume that the star is not only someone they love, but a part of them. I would highly recommend this documentary to you. It's the alarming sense of delusion that has sadly been normalized in our country, where adulation has been surpassed and obsession has taken over. Coming back to Neninthe again, it also highlights the resistance of the industry to lay their bets on new talent. Brahmi feels compelled to shame someone like Ravi Teja upon simply knowing that he is pitching an idea somewhere. What's even more fascinating is the resistance showcased by producers who love an idea of a debutant but are not willing to actually give him directorial power, something that many have complained about. With my limited experience of speaking to creators, I have known directors who have been assistants with production companies for decades, waiting for that one chance, only getting it when they themselves cut ties and place their bets on themselves because the ecosystem just doesn't allow it. The one aspect of the film that really hit home for me was the case of Sayaji Shinde's character playing the role of the producer. His film gets extremely negative reports, but he wants to know the perspective of the foreign collections, so he calls a relative. And the man talks about not seeing the film and waiting till tomorrow to see it. But the same person who hasn't seen the film gives Sayaji Shinde a play-by-play of how the screenplay unfolded and why the audience is not liking it. This put into perspective the importance of reviews and the nature of them not being someone's perspective, but literally a play-by-play of the storyline, which should never be the intention of a review. Sayaji Shinde loses his marbles on why the relative doesn't have his own perspective and vents out his frustration on the herd mentality, echoing what the majority are saying.
వాళ్ళు రాసేది అదో రివ్యూ రా. ఫస్ట్ హాఫ్ ఇది స్టోరీ, సెకండ్ హాఫ్ ఇది స్టోరీ, యాంగిల్ వి, ట్విస్టులు ఇవి, హైలైట్స్, ఇదేరా రివ్యూ.
This also highlights another beast that has taken over social media, where one would give paragraphs of how they feel about the actor, the project and the story, and reference in the conclusion of this long explanation, by the way, I haven't seen the film. This nightmare of not wanting to deal with FOMO but still wanting to be an active part of a discussion is extremely irresponsible. Speaking about the industry cinephile, Neninthe further increases the facets of its discussion around the industry by shedding light on the toxic nature of journalism that uses women's bodies as fodder to speak about their personal lives, even acts of abuse and crimes purely aimed at guaranteeing clicks for their websites. And the most hard-hitting for me is a star begging and pleading for his fans about the toxic nature of the pressure to satisfy them and how it's stunting his growth. How he wants them to prioritize themselves versus making his film run for more than 100 days. Neninthe is such an eye-opening gem. It blows my mind that it failed at the box office. But I guess the audience also steps into the film to be entertained versus introspecting of where they may be faltering with their own behavior. A film I would highly recommend you check out on YouTube as it is available with English subtitles. But another film that exposed several facets of especially the Hindi film industry and failed at the box office is the Zoya Akhtar directed film Luck by Chance. Much like Neninthe, I can literally describe the characters and what they are going through, and you can create a parallel with someone working in the industry today and how it fits their predicament perfectly. The film highlights how so much of the journey of an actor is based on luck versus talent. The film is such an insight into the upper hand that products of nepotism have over outsiders, presented through the contrast of a hardworking and talented actor like Konkana Sen, mostly reserved for side characters and TV serials, versus Isha Sherwani, the daughter of a legend who lands up a leading role with the most prestigious production company in her debut role, barely being able to deliver her Hindi dialogues, but everything around her is cushioned so that she does not experience even the slightest bit of inconvenience. Much like Neninthe, the film highlights the trappings of being a star, Hrithik Roshan looking at his own reflection and disassociating the star and his aura from his real personality, highlighting the expectations the audience have of him and how it limits him from doing certain type of roles. The film also is such an insight into us as a society and who we consider worthy of our time, presented through the power dynamic of a movie premiere and how established actors look past a nobody. This is an insight also on how we as a society pay attention to the finished product versus actually investing in those who have the potential to reach there. We are so obsessed with the results, we don't really invest on those who can get there. Unless they are star kids, of course, then no amount of opportunities are too much. Hrithik Roshan as Zafar in this beautiful scene is presented as interacting with lesser privileged kids. It brought such an interesting perspective on star culture, how we aspire to be recognized all our lives, only to reach there and hide ourselves with our tinted glasses. Momentarily, just momentarily, Hrithik sheds that barrier in a beautiful scene. The film, much like Neninthe, expands on several facets of the industry. The out-of-touch nature of yesteryear producers, film magazines and their intrusive nature, and the harsh pill to swallow regarding actors in the industry. When Konkana Sen Sharma screams helplessly towards a director, "पर मैं talented हूँ, मुझे acting आती है," to which the director replies, पर वो किसे चाहिए? The film also is such a brilliant commentary on an outsider willing to do anything to survive. He holds on to his box office hit, does everything to save face, even if his working relationship with people may have gone sour, but publicly you do everything in your might to protect it because it doesn't get showered upon an outsider so easily. The film fleetingly, and you may have missed this, is a chilling reminder of the nature of the industry only being result oriented. When box office reports come in for the movie, Sanjay Kapoor playing the director announces, जबलपुर की एडवांस के लाइन पे चाकू चल गया, एक बंदे का तो कत्ल भी हो गया, as good news in the film. The producer, played by Rishi Kapoor, replies, cheers to that. And when you read about the recent news of what transpired in theatres, you realize whatever Neninthe and Lakbai Chand shed light on regarding the industry and its people and their relationship with the audience, even though these films are close to 15 years old, nothing much has changed. I really urge you to watch both of them. One is on YouTube and Luck by Chance is on Netflix. It will shock you on how several themes of it are still relevant today. And that was a video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you think about both the movies. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.